Greetings, RavenCon family. I'm here to promote the Beginner Card Magic for Kids class in the Rookery this year. It's going to be Saturday night at 7. I'm going to get into explaining the class and what will and won't be needed to come into the class. But first, two other things. Number one of those two, I'd like to send a huge thank you and a very grateful thank you to the people at playingcarddecks.com. I was putting together some prize and gift packs connected to the class this year, and maybe to do a few other little bonus things around RavenCon. And the very good people at playingcarddecks.com, cannot say that 3 times fast, provided a number of decks for RavenCon for me to hand out as prizes and gifts, purely out of the generosity of their own hearts. The lion's share of what you are looking at right now was provided by them for RavenCon. So you'll notice I have these broken down into 3 sets. These right here are for the Magic class. These are wonderful, wonderful little decks, and all of them more geared towards doing card magic. So I will explain these to the students in the card magic class as to what precisely they are. These decks right here are going to be for a trick that we're going to do in a little bit, and these will be the prizes, and I will tell you at the end of the video how to win these, and a little extra information as well that you're going to need. But as you can see, you have several decks here. Star Trek themed, old classic and new movie, both on the same deck. Lord of the Rings. This is based on Japanese masks. These are just very stylish decks. This is actually a Neil Patrick Harris deck, and there's a hidden puzzle and cipher in it. So if you're into that kind of thing, you will enjoy this deck. And the last series of cards right here are being set aside for a video that we are going to do Saturday morning. And the Saturday morning video is going to become very important to you. You're going to realize as we go through this video right now. But these are going to be prizes related to the Saturday morning video. Kind of the same rules I'm going to lay out for this one. And these are also just wonderfully fun decks, particularly if you're a monster kid. This is a fantastic deck with some cool extra cards in it. You have all 3 transitions of a werewolf going from man to werewolf that you can do some really cool tricks with, or you can just enjoy them as playing cards. All right. Let's do the class first. Beginner Card Magic for Kids is going to be Saturday night at 7 o'clock in the Rookery, which is the kids' track. All you're going to need to bring in is an interest in playing cards and learning some card magic. If your children are interested in card magic, but they have never taken a class, they have never started doing anything, this is going to be the perfect class for them. I do not like to start instructional classes with tricks that are heavy on sleight of hand or special shuffles and fancy shuffles. Everything I am going to teach is going to be very quick and easy to learn. And the goal is basically, at the end of the class, every kid can walk out with a pocket full of tricks that they can almost immediately start using to entertain friends and family. Children do not need to bring anything to the class. Everything will be provided, including a standard bicycle playing card deck. This is the exact same deck you can find on the store's shelves of any place near you. This is what makes the packet a little more interesting. These are known as gaff cards. Gaff cards are specialty cards geared towards doing magic tricks. This is a double face card, a blank face card. This is an index only. This is a double back card. This is a double back 2 color. out of these. This one's my favorite. I won't be teaching this specifically in the class because this one is a little more complicated. However, I will be more than happy to stay over after the class, and anytime anybody sees me running around RavenCon, if I am not actively doing something as a volunteer or prepping for a panel, I will be more than happy to show them why this is my favorite card. But 7 o'clock Saturday night, beginner card magic for kids in the Rookery. Just bring an interest in learning and we'll go from there, right? Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to do a magic trick right here, right now. I am unfortunately going to have to play you, so I realize that's a letdown because I am not the person you want to be. But we're going to do a magic trick. I want you to pay attention very closely, start to finish. And when we are done, I'm going to tell you how you can win some of the decks that you saw earlier. All right? So you put the 2 decks down, just like this, and you ask the person to choose one of the decks. Do you want the blue or the red deck? All right, you want the blue deck. So that means I have the red deck. All right, so we're going to take the blue deck out of the box, and we're going to put the blue deck on your side. And I will take this deck out of the box, and I will put it over here on my side. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. I need you to pay attention and see if you can remember. By the way, this trick is a memory test. Keep that in mind. Here's the first few things you have to remember. Not right now. When I say go, I'm just going to show you what we're going to do. When I tell you to spread the cards out, you're going to spread the cards out. You're set just like this. You're going to put your finger on one card, and then I will put a finger on one card. You'll put a finger on your deck. I will take the card out of your deck, put it on the top of my deck. I will then take the card I have chosen, put it on the top of your deck. We will then bring the decks back together. And then, to make sure the card is lost somewhere a little harder to find, we will cut the deck. Can you remember all of that? Good, because that's not the test yet, so don't get cocky. All right. Spread your deck out. Touch a card. Pick a card in your deck. So, all right, you're going to pick the King of Hearts. We will put the King of Hearts right there. I'm going to go for something a little simpler. I'm going to go for lucky number 7, hoping that this works. Bring the decks back together. All right. And now cut the deck to bury the cards a little deeper in the deck and make them harder to find. All right. Now, I'm going to find both cards. I'm going to find them by touching the card. I am only going to touch one card. That will be the card that we exchanged. We will now turn the cards face down, spread the cards out, and I will then proceed to find the cards. However, very quickly, here comes the memory test part. What color was your deck? You say blue? Well, I don't seem to remember you taking the blue deck. I think you've got the red deck, because I've got the blue deck. So let's spread the decks out. And you can see where we exchanged cards. You, in fact, have one blue card, and I have one red card. I have your King of Hearts, and you have my 7 of Hearts. That is a very simple trick to do. It is a very simple trick to explain. I can show you how that trick was done in under a minute. And if you find me at RavenCon, and like I said before, if I'm not doing something as a volunteer, if I'm not performing volunteer duties or prepping for a panel, I will be happy to sit down and show you how that trick was done. However, if you think you can figure out how the trick was done, or if you know how that trick was done, by all means, if you see me at the convention, stop me and tell me how it was done, and you will win some of the decks that you saw earlier right here. Now, I can see that you are immediately having one issue with this, and that issue is you can't see me, so how are you going to find me? That will be taken care of Saturday. Keep an eye on the RavenCon Facebook group page on Saturday. Saturday morning, we will be recording another video. That video will be me performing a card trick, hopefully with several guests from RavenCon. And for those of you familiar with Penn and Teller's Fool Us, there was a magician recently, a street magician who performed a card trick that fooled Penn and Teller. I will be performing that card trick for several individuals at the con. That is what we will be filming. If you can find me at the con and tell me how that trick was done, the last bit of cards, the really nice ones that I had up here, those will be the prizes set aside for that. I will not tell anyone how that trick was done on Saturday, but I will start telling people how that trick was done on Sunday. All you have to do is ask if you see me. So, wrapping that up, Beginner Card Magic for Kids, Saturday night at 7. Find me and tell me how this trick was done, and you can have a deck of cards. Watch the video Saturday morning, so number one, you know what I look like, and number two, you know what I'm wearing Saturday. And if you can tell me how that trick was done, you have a shot at the nicer cards that I had over here. And watch out for me on Sunday, because as these cards were generously provided to me to be given away, if not enough people win cards from me on Saturday, I will be tracking people down to show them card tricks and give away decks. So hopefully I'll see you at RavenCon. Take care until then.